In this video we'll show how you can add buttons to a control bar. So you can see we have a simple UX component here with a control bar in the panel header, and we have a button over here that's in the after section of the control bar. So that means that this button will always be justified right regardless of the size of the screen. So if we go over here to portrait mode, you can see that the button is there on the extreme right hand side, and if we go to a large tablet over here, we can see that the button is always on the extreme right hand side. So going back to our little phone mode over here, and then you can see that we have an action on this button. When we tap the button, we set focus to the next row. So let's go ahead now and take a look at how we did this. So we'll go back to design mode right now, open up the control bar builder, and we can see that in the items section over here we've added a new item called a button. We gave it a name button 1, and its type is a button. So we did that by selecting a button over there, and then once we had selected the button, we went and started setting properties for the button. So we chose the layout type to be image only, so we can choose from all of the standard button layouts like text only, image only, text followed by image, etc. So we chose image only, and then when we chose the icon, we went and we chose an SVG icon because the current theme that we're using is alpha, and the alpha theme has a whole bunch of built-in SVG icons. So there's the icon that we selected, and because the icon class has been specified over here, the icon class has built into it a size, and so you can see that adjusting the size here has no impact on the SVG size. If the icon class was removed, then we could specifically set the size of the image, but this icon class defines a particular size. So let's just cancel out of that. So now there we've set our icon, and so now that is the button itself. And now when we tap the button, we need to execute some JavaScript. So you can see here we specified that when the user clicks on the button, we'd like to execute an action called next. So if we click on this button here, we see all of the defined actions, and at this point there's only a single action called next. And if we go to the actions tab over here, we can see we've added an action called next. You can add as many actions as you want, and you can give each action a totally arbitrary name. So let's just go and delete that one there. And so for this action here, we've said get a pointer to the list control and then execute the list control's navigate next method. So this is how we're basically navigating to the next row in the list. So let's go ahead now and then look at the layout now. So if we go back to our layout, we can see that in the after section of line 1 we've added button number 1. So if we go there into the editor, you can see there's button number 1 has been added into the after section. So that means that any of the items added to the after section will be right justified, anything in the before section will be left justified, and anything in the middle will be center justified. So let's go ahead now and close that. And I just also want to point out that it's very important that when you put a control bar in a panel header, that you leave the container alignment set to left, which is the default alignment. So let's go ahead now and run this, and now when you can see when I press the button, we execute the action and focus goes to the next row in the list. So what we've shown over here is how you add a button to a control bar. You basically create a new control bar item of type button. You specify the action for the button by defining an action and then binding that action to the on click or on down hold event of the button, or there's several different events that are exposed, and then you add that button to the layout line in the before, middle or after section depending on where you want the button to appear. Thanks very much for watching.